Hi, my name is Dr. Erica Steele, and I'm the founder of Holistic Family Practice, and I'm a naturopathic doctor. Um, I wanted to do a video about fads and fad diets and nutrition. There is a lot of misinformation and information out there, both on the internet and social media influencers and YouTube doctors and all sorts of information from books to podcasts. And so we're at a place of information overload, and it's difficult to know as a consumer who to trust, what to think, what not to think. And so I wanted to create a short video to just touch on some of this, so that you intuitively understand what to do and what not to do. I am a different type of provider, even in the naturopathic community, because I teach people not to be dependent upon me. And what that means is my job as a public health educator is to educate you, motivate you, inspire you, and ultimately help you take personal responsibility for your health so that you can make these decisions and choices for yourself. So I'm less about teaching a diet or teaching a lifestyle or teaching a certain thing. I tell people I don't want your power. People come into my office often brainwashed, looking to give me their power, meaning that they come in with an idea of every other doctor they've been to or every other provider, healthcare healer that they've been to, with this expectation that I'm going to be the same. And I'm not. I'm different. And I'm different in the sense of I want to give you the information and the education so that you can powerfully make a decision as to what's going to work within your life. And that way it actually sticks. That way you own the information and you become empowered by it. I'm not the type of individual that is good at being told what to do. And I don't think many of us are. And so when we're told what to do or what not to do, the tendency is to get frustrated, to have resistance, to be defensive, etc. So I don't tend to teach my patients or clients that. I tend to motivate, inspire them through education and inspiration. And so with that being said, I want to talk about diet, right? So diet is by definition, right, what we're eating and what we're putting into our bodies, right? The food that we are consuming on a daily basis. Now, food doesn't just have to be nutrients. Food can also be what we're watching, what we're listening to, what we're speaking. You know, all of those things are food, that all things that are nourishing our minds, our bodies, as well as our spirit. And so there is no one size fit all. And what I mean by that is I've been in natural healthcare almost now for 20 years, and I have seen all the fads. I've seen the vegetarian, vegan, raw food, Atkins, paleo, a South Beach, Weight Watchers. I can't even keep track of all of the various things, keto. And so I'm not going to say that these particular diets or lifestyles are good or bad, because they're not good or bad across the board. Every person is an individual, meaning that every single individual has individual needs, individual genetics, individual blood chemistry, individual toxic loads, individual lifestyles, mindsets, etc. This all goes into a person's lifestyle. So what works for me may not necessarily work for the next person, which is why it's very important to come up with an individualized approach in healthcare, which is what we do at Holistic Family Practice. Everything is individualized to the actual person based off of their lab work. And so we don't put people on flash diets, meaning that a person comes in and it's not across the board, okay, you're going to eat this and you're going to eat that and you're going to eat this and you're going to eat that, because it really doesn't work. Again, we come up against resistance, we come up against defensiveness. I don't want to eat that. My mother didn't eat that. I didn't grow up eating that. How am I going to do that? I can't eat anything. These are just some of the various reasons that I hear about shifting a person's diet. So I learned pretty quickly in my career And at this point, I've treated over 30,000 people. And really, it was the patients that taught me how to be a better doctor. It was listening to the patients. It was recognizing the patterns. It was acknowledging that whatever strategy that I was taught in school didn't really work. And that's why I'm very unique, because I'm open to shifting my idea of what I think I may know about certain topics. And so food is very much an intimate relationship. Relationship is a connection. Even though, food doesn't talk to us, hold us our hand, tell us we're beautiful, many of us, especially as Americans, have a deep connection and a relationship to food. And some connections are healthy and some connections are unhealthy. And so there's a lot more to food than just what meets the eye. When I'm working with people, I base it off of science. I base it off of data. I base it off of metabolic caloric rate. I base it off of macros. And then I also base it off of genetics as well as the blood work. So there's a lot of science to how I'm basing nutrition with people. And then based off of all that data, I give people a framework. And then from that framework, I educate them, motivate them, and inspire them to work within that framework. I can build meal plans and all that fun stuff. But what I found was, as I would spend a lot of time building a meal plan for a patient, and then I would give that meal plan to the patient, and then the patient wouldn't follow it for whatever reason, because it really has nothing to do with the food. It had everything to do with their connection to food. So that's also why fads don't work long term. A person can white knuckle pretty much anything. They can do, let's say, keto for 30 days, or they can do autoimmune paleo for 60 days or 90 days, but it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable for a person's lifestyle, but it's also not sustainable for the body, because the body will start to conform and condition to how it is that it's being fed and nourished. And so if it's not being nourished adequately, meaning there's not enough nutrition, there's not enough amino acids getting in, there's not enough vitamins and minerals that's fueling the metabolism, what tends to happen is the body starts to get lazy, or rather it starts to become deficient, and then begins to shut down different chemical processes. So for me, I was raised a vegetarian. I was a vegan. I was even a raw foodist at a period of time, and I didn't realize how nutrient deficient I really was, because I'm an undermethylator genetically, so I have to be on a high protein diet. And even though I was eating tons of fruits and vegetables, I wasn't a pizza and pasta vegetarian, I was a vegetable vegetarian. That was a lot of carbohydrates, and my liver and my pancreas could not process all of that glucose sufficiently, i.e. I have diabetes on both sides of my family. So not knowing that information, I was actually making myself extremely sick and not even knowing it. So if I would have maintained that diet and I would have stayed in there, I probably would have been sicker and sicker and sicker, pushing myself harder and harder and harder, trying to fit myself in a box. So it's not just about the patients that I've learned from, it's also my own personal experience and me actually living a holistic health lifestyle for almost my entire life. And so I have a lot of wisdom that I've gained through that experience, and a lot of information that I want to be teaching you guys over the next few weeks, over the next few months, and definitely over the next few years. As I transition more into educating the general public and really helping people to take back their health. Because right now, especially post-COVID, we definitely need to take responsibility for our health. I'm signing off now. My name is Dr. Erica Steele, Holistic Family Practice, and we help families live naturally.